I get a lot of questions from finance students and young professionals asking where to start their finance career or which path to choose. So always there is a confusion whether to start the career in a GC center or in a corporate finance. Today in this video, I am going to talk about the difference between GCC center and the corporate finance. And to make your selection easier, I'll be talking about the parameters. So you understand that what is the difference between the both GCC and corporate finance. The parameters what I'm going to talk about is the qualification requirement. Second, the role and responsibility you will be getting. Third, the salary you can expect. Fourth, growth opportunities. Fifth, work culture. Sixth, stability, which sector will stable for a long time. And at last, I'll be giving my conclusion, which can help you, or as a guide, I can tell you which will be better for you. So let me start with the difference between GCC center and corporate finance. So when we talk about corporate finance, it is one of the major team in a company, whether it is a manufacturing company or a service-based company. Corporate finance is the key department who does everything. For example, accounting. Second, budgeting or treasury function, like you'll be dealing with the banks for your working capital requirements. So this function is like a function who take care of all other departments, right? And they also suggest to the management team all decisions relating to finance, and they take care of only of the company for whom they are responsible, right? So corporate finance is not going to take care of other companies, right? But when it comes to GCC, it is your global capability center. So what is the meaning of that? That means you have a setup and you are getting work from your clients. Now these clients can be internal or the client can be external. So what is the meaning of internal? Internal means your group itself is giving work from outside country to India. And when it is external, external means you have different clients who are not part of your group and they're giving work to you. For example, Accenture, right? Accenture takes different type of work from different companies and they provide service as well as they provide different type of consultancy also. Similarly, there are companies who do only in-house work and they don't take work from other clients. So those are GCC center. Now, coming to the qualification part, the first important point here is that in GCC center, the starting or you can say the entry point is generally a graduate, or you can say MCom, BCom, or MBA finance. Whereas in corporate finance, yes, there may be few areas where you may start with a BCom or MCom or a MBA finance, but mostly they prefer high quality people. That means because it's a very small team who has to take care of the complete finance function of the company. So they go for higher educated or higher professional qualified people like CA, CW qualified or CS, or maybe MBA finance from a reputed organization. So qualification at the entry level is this. Now, when you grow in career in corporate finance, definitely people who are professionally qualified, they grow in the career like becoming general manager finance or get into controlling head or get into the CFO role. But in GCC center, it's not that only a CA or CW will grow. It's more about the talent what the person has, because you are going to manage a big team, right? So in this case, if you are a BCom and has a quality of leadership, you can manage 10, 20 people under you, then definitely you can grow in your career. And there is nothing like only a CA or CW will get an opportunity in GCC center. I've seen that the restriction is very less. It's more about your experience. It's more about the quality what you deliver. But in corporate finance, they're very strict into the qualification because you have to deal with different stakeholders within the company or external parties like auditors and all that. So this is all about the qualification part. Coming to the second part, role and responsibility. As I told you, in corporate finance, you take the higher risk because any decision which you take, if it is going in the wrong side, then the company will be impacted. You are the person who will be responsible to guide other departments how to work, how to and ensure that the company's policies are adhered and there is no non-compliance issues, right? So this person will be very, very important to the organization, and a lot of decisions will be taken by the corporate finance so that there is no issues in the company. Whereas in GCC, the person who is responsible for a particular process or task will be only focusing on those tasks. For example, if I'm handling accounts payable, then I'll be only focusing on accounts payable only for those entities. Similarly, if I'm taking care of reporting, I'll be focusing only reporting for those entities, right? So I'll be not getting the complete picture of all the business cycles. I'll be only focusing only on the activity which is outsourced to the GCC center and what best you can deliver on those activities. Now, coming to the salary part, definitely there will be difference between the corporate finance and GCC. Corporate finance, if you see, it is a very small team and they are the cost center to the company. So when I say cost center to the company, that means whatever cost the company incurs, they don't recover from anywhere, right? Obviously, some portion may go to the cost of production, but not a large part. But in GCC, it is the reverse way. GCC means you are trying to do work with lesser cost. That's the reason the work is coming from outside India to India, and it is billed back to the clients, whether in-house or it is external. So in this case, what is happening? There is always a markup on your cost, and the company is getting revenue. So when you are generating revenue with the people working in the site, definitely you have to pay higher. So in GCC center, in the initial starting phase, you may not get higher salary because they want to make the work happen with less salary. So you can expect a salary range of like 3 to 7 or 8 lakhs. But when you start growing in the GCC center, like manager role or senior manager role or leading a particular team, you can expect a good salary of like 20 to 40 lakhs. And if you are heading the COE, then you can expect more than 50 lakhs. So GCC pays you well compared to corporate finance. But in corporate finance also, once you get into the general manager and CFO level, the pay is obviously very good. But yes, when you compare with the GCC center, because you are going to generate revenue for the company takes more risk. The company awards you also for the effort you take in managing big teams. After salary, I'll be talking about the career opportunities or growth opportunity. When it comes to GCC, as I told you, different type of works is coming to GCC. Whereas in corporate finance, you are limited to certain activities, right? So in GCC, you have opportunity to grow faster. That means if you are in R2R today, after 2 years, you want to move to a different process, for example, IC reconciliation or asset accounting, or it may be GL, then you can move, right? You have opportunity to move because there are a lot of people and sometimes the attritions are high in GCC. So you start moving here and there. And if you prove that you can be a good leader, then definitely you have a lot of opportunity in GCC center. Whereas in corporate finance, you have very limited growth because you have the CFO, then you have the hierarchy like general manager, then DGM, and then senior manager, manager. So very limited opportunities, unless somebody leave or unless the business diversifies or there is a merger and acquisition. Till that you don't get the opportunity of growing. Now coming to the work culture, as I told you, GCC are majorly for the MNCs. So MNCs will have always a good work culture and they trust the people who work in GCC. So they rely on them and they always give a good career path as well as the support to the people so that people without any too much stress can work. Whereas in the work culture of corporate finance, because it's a limited small team, obviously you will have a lot of stress, lot of deliveries, and there will be a lot of ad hoc requirement from the top management which you need to address. So obviously, culture-wise, both may be good, but if you see on the stress level or work-life balance and all that, I would rate GCC higher because it is well planned. It is nothing like you get something ad hoc or pressure from the top management. Now coming to the stability side, obviously GCC has a longer view because GCC is growing in India and many companies today they outsource work instead of doing it within their own department. So corporate finance definitely is going towards lean management. They're trying to reduce people in corporate finance and outsource the activity, mostly the day-to-day activity. And the benefit of transferring the work to GCC is that GCC are now focusing on AI, automation, and and they're trying to streamline the processes within all the entities, right? So, for example, I can tell you if a company has 10 subsidiaries in different part of the world, every subsidiary may have its own different processes. But now, what is happening when all the subsidiaries start giving work to one of the location in India, the GCC center will develop those process and ensure that they have unique processes throughout the world. So they don't have different processes for different countries. So it's more streamlining, cost efficiency. At the same time, they see value addition by giving work to GCC center. In corporate finance, it is very limited. And as I told you in the beginning, with a lot of expectation from the corporate finance, the stability is always a question mark because the management always asks for more and more. And with a small team, you can't explore. For example, you want to do some automation test, you will not have that budget, you will not have that people in your team who can do a lot of experiment. Whereas in GCC, because the workforce is high, definitely you will have a lot of opportunities to explore a lot of things. Now I'll be talking about my conclusion. I would say that if you're starting your career, it would be great if you can start your career with corporate finance. As I explained you that you'll come to know end-to-end process, you will understand how to work under management, you will understand what is the need of the management, you will come to know that what are the ad hoc reports which are asked to the corporate finance team. So you will come to know about more about the clarity about how a business is running, right? And this will help later in your career to move to a GCC. So if you're moving to a GCC later in your career, you go with the complete understanding of your ERP, complete understanding of the process, and there you, whenever you talk to the global partners, you can understand the complete flow. What I have seen majorly that people who start the career with GCC, they're very limited. And for example, if somebody start with a career with fixed assets or air, and they do that same job for 7 8 years, so they definitely become expertise in those areas. But what happens, they don't get the complete picture of finance. But if you're in corporate finance and in 5 6 years you have done some rotation of your profile and you have got into the details of everything, like inventory accounting or manufacturing accounting or cost center reporting or budgeting, then you come with very strong knowledge in the market. And that's the reason, if you are coming from manufacturing or service industry to GCC, your recruitment team, will be always keeping you happy that you are shortlisted in the first go, because there is no question of detailed interviewing, because you know the end-to-end process. So that is what from my side. Obviously, it's all depends. If you feel that GCC is good and you want to have a work-life balance, then definitely GCC is good to start in the beginning. But my recommendation that start with corporate finance for a few years, get everything what you want in the initial stage of your career, understand, and then if you like to move to GCC, you can move, or else you can continue your career in corporate finance. So that's it from my side. Hope this video will help you to select which path you want to select. And if you have any specific questions, please write in the comment box. I will reply to that. Thank you for watching this video. If you have not subscribed to my channel, I request you to subscribe to my channel. Thank you.